Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
Hundreds gather to mourn the death of Constable David Wynn.
EPS makes changes along Alberta Avenue.
And the Edmonton Valley Zoo gets a new addition.
So after a long process, a long wait, we finally have them, and we are very pleased.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening. Until late this week, it has been a cheap fill-up at the pumps, but on the flip side, the lowest price of oil since 2009 is causing a lot of uncertainty and concerns across Alberta.
It's not unusual to see wild fluctuations. The specter of a $500 million deficit has many both in the public and private sector planning for the worst, including institutions like NAIT that train many workers in the oil field. Jenna Hamilton is live in our news center with more. Jenna?
With the price of oil falling well below what most Albertans are used to, many would just like to know what the future holds for the province and the oil industry. With the oil industry's history of booms and busts, Alberta finds itself in its latest bust, with talks of a possible recession. Chief economist John Rose is optimistic that won't be the case.
2008-9, where we saw a similar steep fall in oil prices. But you have to remember that the global context, and in fact the Canadian context, is very different. Most of the rest of the developed world was in recession back in 2008 and 9. This time around, the United States in particular is doing quite well. The rest of Canada continues to grow. So that's going to provide us with a bit of a buffer.
With gas prices being the lowest many Albertans have seen in years, students entering the oil and gas industry are wondering if there will be jobs come graduation. Finding jobs within the industry may become more difficult, but possible. What's concerning students is if the province will enter a recession or not.
Hopefully the prices will climb up here again this spring, but if they stay this low or keep dropping, then I definitely see a recession happening.
The slowdown of the oil industry is evident, with major companies shutting down their capital projects and laying off workers. The government is hopeful that production will pick up soon. Alberta's economy is still expected to grow 2.5 to 3%, but compared to the last 4 years, where we've seen an annual growth of 4.6%.
Will jobs not related directly to the oil industry be affected?
With the decline in oil, the provincial government is looking at a $7 billion hole in their budget. Jobs directly related to provincial funding, such as healthcare, education, or public administration, may be affected.
So how is the government looking to make up the $7 billion loss of revenue?
Premier Prentice has yet to announce anything official, but there has been talk of a provincial sales tax. He's looking to hear from Albertans on that issue.
Thanks, Jenna. That's Jenna Hamilton reporting live from our news center tonight. The Alberta Liberal Party is looking for new leadership after Dr. Raj Sherman announced he's stepping down on Tuesday. After 3 years as Alberta Liberal Party leader, Dr. Sherman, alongside President of the Alberta Liberal Party, Shelley Wark-Martin, announced he intends to return to a private life. Sherman said, "I am stepping aside as leader so that the team can continue to move forward. As well, it has truly been an honor and a privilege to work with this team, and I wish them all the best." Dr. Sherman will remain MLA representing Edmonton Meadowlark until the next provincial election. NAIT NewsWatch, the next generation of news.
St. Albert residents continue to cope after the tragic death of Constable David Wynn, an RCMP officer well known for his community service. People gathered amongst thousands of white ribbons to honor the fallen Mountie. Hundreds lined the streets of St. Albert, located just north of Edmonton, on Monday to honor Constable David Wynn, shot 2 weeks ago in a St. Albert casino. The funeral was held in Service Place, the city's recreation center. The event drew political dignitaries including Stephen Harper, Jim Prentice, Lieutenant Governor Donald Ethel, and St. Albert's Mayor Nolan Kraus.
In the summer of 1877, in southern Alberta, Chief Crowfoot said to several thousand who had gathered, "If the police had not come to this country, where would we all be now?"
And it's a heavy, heavy burden to carry all this hurt when you can't unsee the things you've seen. It keeps going on. When those sirens are gone.
More than 2,000 law enforcement and first responders from across North America attended in support of the RCMP officer known for fly fishing and red rose tea.
Dave successfully negotiated with striking workers on a picket line at the local grocery store. His goal? To gain access to St. Albert's only supply of red rose tea.
In memory of Constable Wynn, a trust fund has been established at CIBC by the RCMP Veterans Association.
The Edmonton Police Community Action Team is focusing its efforts on the increase of property damage along Alberta Avenue. Property crimes, including break-and-enters and thefts from and of vehicles, have nearly doubled since last year. Acting Staff Sergeant of the CAT Department, Constable Curtis Hoople, said that the project was a success and community members, EPS, and police partners are proud of the change they have already seen.
204 warrants executed, 60-plus arrests. You're looking at 92 street check reports, which for property crime, that's huge. The people came up to us and said, you know what, this is great. We enjoy having you here.
The CAT deployments are part of the EPS violence reduction strategy in at-risk communities around Edmonton.
The community is coming together after the devastating fire that destroyed a piece of Edmonton's history. East Glen High School's theater will be the new stage for the upcoming performance, Famous Puppet Death Scenes, which was previously scheduled at the Roxy. Global Visions has partnered with Metro Cinema to host a fundraiser in support of the theater rebuild. Despite the planned rebuild, many locals are sad to see the original theater go.
People have been phoning me, have you been to see the Roxy? What do you think? Isn't it sad? And yes, there's been a lot of people. My auntie phoned and said, oh, we used to go and see the show. So yeah, it's heartbreaking.
Fire investigators are still looking into the cause of the fire.
New technology at the U of A hospital is helping cure devastating head and neck cancers.
It's akin to taking that roller coaster ride at West Edmonton Mall. Strap yourself in for the ride and ride it out to the end.
A $1 million grant from the University Hospital Foundation has allowed it to purchase a state-of-the-art tissue scanner, as well as Canada's first digital droplet PCR. The machines create treatment plans by looking at the molecular information of patients' tumors.
Looking at the genetics of cancer will help us personalize medicine. It would also help us figure out what types of treatments work better for certain cancers.
The new upgrades makes the hospital the most well-equipped lab in the country. It treats more than 250 cases each year.
NAIT students are being told to wait even longer after complications further delay the LRT. For the fourth time, the $665 million NAIT LRT expansion has been delayed, forcing students to hop on the bus. The line was supposed to open March 2014, but has now been postponed till spring, frustrating NAIT's president.
With the continuous delays, the continuous postponing the deadline, we have lost trust in Edmonton transit system and the city of Edmonton to meet their deadlines, to meet the deadlines they have given us in the past.
The delay is being blamed on new software not being able to interact with the older software that runs the existing line.
Students in Edmonton are trying out a new type of dating site. SeekingArrangements.com is a website that has recently caught the attention of post-secondary students here in the city. The site connects young students, mainly female, with sugar daddies or sugar mamas looking for mutually beneficial relationships. The young women or men receive an average monthly allowance of $3,000.
I think it's pretty risky. It's not very safe. You never know who's on those kinds of sites.
It pretty much sounds like Tinder to me, just in a more disgusting scale.
Grant McEwen and the U of A combined have nearly 500 members, compared to the almost 2,000 sugar daddies in the city, and there are approximately 1.4 million students using the site across North America.
Edmonton is welcoming 2 new additions to the Valley Zoo. 2 golden lion tamarins, Jack and Hayden, joined the zoo this weekend and are getting settled into their new home. The monkeys came from southeast Brazil. There are currently only 500 to 1,000 left in the wild. Zoos in North America are working together to create a successful breeding program so they can release them back into the wild.
is that they are a success story when it comes to releasing them back into the wild. About 140 have been released since 1984.
The Valley Zoo hopes to become a part of the program after the tamarins are there for 2 years.
And he's a great ambassador for everybody who comes to visit the zoo because they can learn about conservation, endangered species, and they can see a really cute little animal.
Coming up after the break, we take a look at different options available for students dealing with ADHD.
We also speak with a student who struggles with it daily.
It's not like, oh, today I don't feel distracted. It's like all the time.
Hi, I'm Kevin Mark. Coming up in sports, I've got Oops Volleyball and Hockey highlights. And for my end zone challenge, I take up snowboarding on the bunny hill.
I'm Hannah Tita. We started with some beautiful weather this week, but saw a few centimeters of snow as temperatures dropped to the averages we're used to seeing this time of year. Unfortunately, this Arctic chill will be sticking around for a few more days. I'll have more details for you coming up after the break.
Temperatures have dropped quite a bit in the past couple days. We even got some snow overnight. It's definitely starting to feel like winter again.
Let's check in with Hannah Tita to see how long this cold snap will last.
Thanks, Lisa. Cool air has started to settle across the province, and temperatures are hovering around -20 degrees. Unfortunately, it is going to be cold again tomorrow, so you're going to want to plug in your cars overnight. We'll start with our neighbors to the south in Calgary. They're going to be starting off with -15, but they will have a high of -11, partly cloudy. On to Jasper. -20 degrees, but they should move up to -7, so that's quite a bit of a leap, and they will see light flurries throughout the day. On to Fort McMurray, -25 degrees Celsius, so the coldest one yet. And on to -17 later on in the day. They will have some sunshine, so that's good. Here in Edmonton, -21 degrees starting off tomorrow. We will get up to -14, so it's partly cloudy, and it's right on track to the averages we're used to seeing this time of year, but nowhere close to the records. The first one set in 1935, 12 degrees, and the lowest, -45 in 1917, so very, very chilly. We will see the temperatures move up towards the end of next week, and we may even see temperatures above 0 degrees, so we do have that to look forward to. And that is your weather forecast.
NewsWatch Weather is brought to you by NR92, the station for the students.
If it seems you hear of the condition ADHD more often, you're likely right.
New studies show that up to 11% of children and youth aged 4 to 17 have been diagnosed with ADHD at some point in their lives. That's an almost 25% increase from 2003, and because many go undiagnosed, the numbers could be even higher. Elizabeth Buchan tells us in this week's Student Body that NAIT is offering help.
Erica is a U of A student from the Bachelor of Sciences that struggles with ADHD. As Erica, there are so many students that deal with the same problem.
It's not that I have a hard time with school necessarily, but just the fact that my brain is doing something that it's not supposed to be doing, and I don't really have control over it unless I'm like actively working on it. So then I have like, okay, I'm trying to learn and I'm trying to focus at the same time, all the time.
Students like Erica find noisy places like this cafeteria quite distracting, but professionals think that finding a quiet place to study is better for concentration.
Krista Pierce is a NAIT registered psychologist that helps students deal with ADHD, stress, anxiety, and others.
At school and outside of school, they're trying to juggle everything, and it just becomes overwhelming. There's too much, and so then they find they're having trouble sleeping, they're maybe not as hungry or have less appetite than normal, they're feeling kind of on edge. Sometimes people even feel a bit like shaky, really agitated or keyed up, and so that's what can happen with anxiety, and people are like, what's going on, how can I handle this?
If you think you have ADHD or know someone that is dealing with this, you can reach a counselor and get some help. And if you're a NAIT student, don't hesitate and contact the counseling center.
Kevin Marr joins us with a look at sports now.
The NAIT Oops women's hockey team are playing terrific so far this season.
That's right, but I'll have Oops men's volleyball highlights coming up right now. With only 2 points separating NAIT and division-leading Augustana, the Oops were looking to close the gap as they took on 4th place King's University. It was junior Oops night last Friday, and the fans were in for a real treat in this game. With the Oops wearing white, we jump to the first set. Rice Cardinal gets some serious air for the spike. First set goes to NAIT. The Eagles will take the second set onto the third set. Jacob Skeppel with a nice bump and hits the line for the set win. With the Oops winning the first set, we go to the fifth and deciding set. Aubrey Poulin's spike goes wide, and with that, the Oops win 3-2 and capture their 13th win of the season. Oops Aussie import Trent Mounter shared the keys to the great come from behind win.
Our defense was pretty incredible tonight. We got a number of digs in very just times when we needed the digs, you know, and that got us over the line in the end. Defense and scramble was awesome.
Heading into their back end of their home-and-home series with the McEwen Griffins, the Oops were looking to build off of their 5-1 victory the night before. Tennille Guard would get the nod for NAIT in this game. Late in the first period on the power play, the Griffins would get on the scoreboard first as Sydney Tomlinson rockets one past Guard. Skip ahead to just over 3 minutes into the third period. Oops captain Brianna Frasca throws the puck on the net and gets one past Morgan Glover to tie this one up. We head to overtime to decide this game. With the Oops on the power play, Sherry Bowles is left wide open and walks in for the overtime winner. It was a gutsy win for the Oops, third division leading 13th of the season. After the game, Bowles was quick to credit her teammate for the overtime goal.
It was honestly an awesome pass from my teammate. I was just looking at her. I didn't want to call for the puck so they'd see me, but she made a great pass, and I think that's the key part to the goal. But it was obviously a great feeling, and I'm so happy with all the girls, and we managed to pull out a W.
If you're looking to catch some great sports action far and near this coming week, you're in luck. The Oops hockey and volleyball teams will be in action this Thursday and Friday, and we end off the week with Saturday being a busy day for many of the Oops teams, including our badminton team. Meanwhile, the Edmonton Oil Kings play host to the Hurricanes before hitting the road. Tomorrow, the two best teams in the NFL will battle it out for the Vince Lombardi Trophy as the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots collide. The Hawks will be looking to capture their second straight championship. Brady will also become the first quarterback to start in 6 Super Bowls. There will also be 2 connections from north of the border and at least 1 Eskimo that is convinced the past will prevail.
I'm going with taking the Patriots and just looking for an exciting football game to end the year until it's our turn to play next.
Meanwhile, Hawks memorabilia is on the rise heading into Sunday.
Last year they were gaining, I would suggest, in fandom, the 12th man. The Patriots are strong as well. Gronkowski, Brady, Sherman, Wilson, great sellers for sure.
You can catch it all live on CTV starting at 11 a.m. For my first End Zone Challenge, I wanted to take on a sport that I've been itching to try for years, snowboarding. Look out, Mark McMorris, there's a new border on the horizon. As I looked out to see what my future competition was, I quickly realized I have a long way to go to reach their level. Snow Valley snowboarding instructor Bryson Johnson began to teach me the proper way to glide down the hill.
So gently lower your toes, not all the way to the snow, just enough where you can slide your heel edge on the snow.
Now it was time to hit Black Diamond, or as I like to call it, the bunny hill. However, my first hurdle was just getting off of the conveyor belt.
Oh! Bummer.
When I was finished with my yoga posing, it was time to test my skills.
You're going to want to make sure your hip is over your heel edge like this. Your shoulders stay lined up with the snowboard. Equal weight on both feet, and your head is looking at the bottom of the hill.
Clearly, my body felt the need to pull to the right instead. In fact, I thought it would be a great idea to introduce myself to the orange fencing. Thankfully, I didn't injure myself in the process. Eventually, I found my sweet spot on the board and I put my own spin on the snow sport. Once I was able to lean back more and limit my shoulder movement, I put in a decent novice run in the end. Alright, Bryson, that was a lot of fun, challenging, but I had a blast learning how to snowboard here. How do you think I did for first time?
Honestly, you did really good. You did really good for a first time. I liked it. It was awesome.
That looked like a lot of fun, Kevin, but the real question is, when will you be joining the pro circuit?
Probably not anytime soon, but I will definitely be taking up the sport.
I may just have to join you on the hill next time. Thanks, Kevin.
Coming up after the break, we join NAIT Ooks hockey team as they collected donations for Edmonton's food bank.
The Ooks took on SAIT in a friendly competition to see who could raise the most.
On this week's entertainment, we take a look at a locally produced 3D film, Slide Around Ice on White, and more coming up next.
Outerwear provided by Elite Sports and Innotech Inspection Solutions.
Hair services by Rock Salon and Spa.
Liam and I went to see how the NAIT versus SAIT food drive is coming along.
The Ooks men's hockey team along with the SAIT Trojans are competing to see who can collect the most food for the food bank. The Ooks, along with the Edmonton Food Bank and Enactus, a group of business students, joined forces to collect donations for the food bank.
Being on the hockey team, I thought it would be a good idea to market a game and get a bunch of fans out to the game as well. So we incorporated the food bank with that and tried to challenge SAIT and see who could raise the most donations for the food bank.
Donations are still coming in and the totals will be counted early next week.
Tonight on Entertainment, we take a look at a locally produced 3D film.
We also take a look at the beautiful ice sculptures at Ice on White and more coming up next with Bernard Suin.
"40 Below and Falling," a locally produced 3D film that partnered with NAIT, is excited to air on a major premium TV network in Canada and also the overseas market.
Redford snowmobile, we do all the action, her driving in.
The film is about a young woman who is teaching up north, and one day a blizzard coated the whole town. She couldn't make it back for the holidays, so she is forced to hop on a snowmobile with the character Redford. The film did experience some problems with the production because of the weather.
There's a lot of work, especially when we had weather like we did last week. We lost all of our snow, we lost our mountain locations, so we had to, rethink this quite quickly, and the train doesn't stop. But when everything starts working right and you have a whole team effort happening, I think that's what's really exciting about it, is it's just a massive team effort. Everyone wants it across the finish line, and it's great to be part of something, that supportive and that encouraging, so yeah.
This film will be expected to air on Super Channel this coming fall. Check your local listings for the premiere of this film. With the beautiful weather this past week, the Ice on White Festival is drawing a huge crowd. While people are sloshing in puddles this year, it is not stopping people from enjoying the beautiful art, ice slides, and activities going on at the festival.
I think for January, it's like an early spring for me. I love splashing in the puddles, but it's really nice, but it's for an ice festival, it's a little warm, but I love it regardless. I'm not going to complain.
Although the warm weather is bringing a huge crowd to the festival, with the melting going on, ice carvers at the festival are having difficulties with their art.
Of course, yeah. This isn't ideal. Obviously, we'd like it to be, -10 would be pretty nice for us, but we're going to make the most of it, try to have a lot of fun.
Tomorrow is the last day for the festival. For more information, visit iceonwhite.com. The directors who brought you the Matrix trilogy, the Wachowskis, is bringing you a brand new science fiction film, Jupiter Ascending.
There was a hunter in the Legion, a legend.
Make sure this is the right one. It's her. Good. Kill her.
The movie starts off with Jupiter Jones, played by Mila Kunis, who was born under a night sky and destined for great things happening. But her life in reality is a job cleaning toilets. One day when Kane, an ex-military hunter, comes to Earth to track Jupiter down, she tells Jupiter that her fate isn't just a dream anymore.
I want her found.
As they discover deeper and unknown to residents on Earth, life on the blue planet and other planets were actually seeded by families of an alien origin.
Here we go.
Catch Jupiter Ascending at your local theaters starting February 6th. From the producer who brought you the Transformers trilogy, Michael Bay is bringing you this new time-traveling thriller, Project Almanac.
That's my 7th birthday. Whoa, did you see that? You guys, you gotta see this. Right there. Look in the mirror.
Dude, that can't be.
That's definitely me.
This movie starts with a group of friends who discovered a time machine plan and then built one for themselves, which allowed them to travel back in time to correct their mistakes.
Jail for cheating on the lottery?
You guys only got 5 out of 6 numbers.
You want to go back and do it again? I am not winning the lottery twice.
It's still over $1 million.
When they took advantage of time traveling as a way to gain pleasure and achievement, they realized that they are causing disasters by changing the past.
What? Oh my God, what's happening? Crash, riots, disasters, none of this happened before.
Catch Project Almanac at your local theaters now.
Find her. Jack, no!
Go back to the beginning.
It could kill you.
That's the only way to stop all this from happening.
Tonight, I have some movie passes for 2 to give away. One for the premiere of Jupiter Ascending on February 4th, and the other one for Project Almanac. Tweet us at NAIT NewsWatch with the hashtag NewsWatchSci-Fi for your chance to win. That's been a look at your entertainment for this week.
Those are some intense-looking movies.
Yeah, they are. That's all we have for you this week. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.